Falls. This is Derrick Pratt, the educator at the Erie Canal Museum. Look at this, I even learned how to flip my camera over. So it's going to look much better on YouTube. Anyway, in case you can't tell, I'm here for our next field trip in Western New York, in the Buffalo area. That's Niagara Falls. I know. You couldn't tell, right? But anyway, why am I at Niagara Falls? Obviously, there weren't any canal boats going over that. Well, Niagara Falls actually plays a pretty important part in the story of the Erie Canal. These are why it's the Erie Canal, not the Ontario Canal, for one. Those falls separate Lake Ontario from all of the other four Great Lakes. So it made going to Lake Erie a lot easier for canal builders. Also, there's a whole thing about the people on that side of the river, the Canadians. They would have taken all of our trade, could have gone to Lake Ontario. Though original plans did have it going to Lake Ontario and another canal being built around the falls to connect to Lake Erie. It just wouldn't have been efficient. Now there is a canal going between Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. That's the Welland Canal. But the Canadians built that shortly after the Erie was built to try to compete with the massive economic engine that the Erie Canal was. On top of that, the Erie Canal really helped make these incredible falls into one of the nation's first ever tourist destinations. People can now easily travel to Western New York and they can check out the falls. So that's pretty neat. We're also in Great State Park, operated by New York State, which that's a whole other story, but I highly encourage you to check out New York State's great state parks during the whole COVID pandemic. Keep nice and socially distanced. Like I am here, no one within far more than 6 feet of me, and they're beautiful. Shout out to New York for doing that, as well as operating the New York State Canal System. That's all for today, and we'll see you. Oh, right. Nope, no, it's not. Psych. The other important thing I want to talk about with Niagara Falls, you might notice there's a bit of a drop here and change in elevation. At another point, we are going to see how the Erie Canal overcame this gigantic change in elevation. Spoiler alert, it's in Lockport, so we'll see you there.